when suddenly, when everything's come against, everybody's cruel, everybody's unjust to you, and you have joy? That's just enough. It's impossible. But with God, it's joy unspeakable. There's no way you could understand or even portray it, but God does it. He gives you joy, brother. There might be a tear in your eye through who's doing it, but it doesn't take away God's peace and God's joy, because you know God's smiling at you. You know God's smiling, and heaven sometimes stands in respect, and you're conscious of it. Don't tell me you're not, depending on how severe the trial is. A man hath joy by the answer of his mouth. For he that will love life, he that will love life and see good days. Tell me somebody in this building who doesn't want that. Be honest now. Who wants to hate life and see everything wrong? So you're honest? Of course you want to love life. So God says, he that will love life. Every one of us want that. You want it? You want to do what God says, though. What God says will be the first time you honestly will love life. And see good days. Well, now we put the paper around and the pens, and let's see where you go now. The young fellow looks and says, to love life, see, only that girl would just look at me, let alone marry me. And she doesn't even ask. He that will love life. What reason would you give? What do you want to put down in your conscience, in honesty before God, what you will believe you will never be able to love life until such things happen? There are priorities on the list on that. But God tells you, no matter what happens in life, this, he that will love life and see good days, let him refrain his tongue from evil, and his lips that they speak no guile, nothing questionable. Full stop. 1 Peter 3 verse 10. Whoso keepeth his mouth and his tongue keepeth his soul. Can I repeat it? Whoso keepeth his mouth and his tongue keepeth his soul from troubles. Proverbs 21 verse 23. He that keepeth his mouth keepeth his life, God says. Keepeth his life. Proverbs 13 verse 3. Keep thy tongue from evil. Psalm 34 verse 13. Set a watch, O Lord, before my mouth. Keep the doors of my lips. Psalm 141 verse 3. If you don't pray that every day, I doubt that you're right with God, because you know that this is the one thing that enters the capacity for the devil to reach every sensual thing in life. Circumstance by circumstance, that you're not crying this from your soul to God. I'm worried about you right now. Set a watch, oh Lord, before my mouth. Right now, God, when my child does this, let me not compromise, but let me not be unchristlike in this exam thou art making me face, or it wouldn't have happened. Set a watch, O Lord, before my mouth. Keep the doors of my lips. Psalm 141 verse 3. When a Christian continually fails God, firstly, with his eyes, secondly, with his thoughts, thirdly, with his lips, and finally, when a Christian continually fails God with his reactions, the fruit of the Spirit, capital S, is temperance, that is self-control. Galatians 5 verse 23. The evidence that the Holy Spirit is in a life is self-control. Self-control. He that is slow to anger, is better than the mighty. And he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city. Proverbs 16, verse 32. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit is not quick-tempered, easily provoked, than he that taketh a city. 16, verse 32. He that is slow to wrath, is of great understanding, God says. But he that is hasty of spirit, quick-tempered, short-tempered, exalteth folly, destroys everything. Proverbs 14, verse 29. Be not hasty in thy spirit to be angry. For anger resteth in the bosom of fools, God says. Ecclesiastes 7, verse 9. Be not hasty in thy spirit to be angry, for anger resteth in the bosom of fools, God says. Be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon thy wrath. Now be careful you're not like a Jehovah's Witness. They take everything out of their context. They're so scared you read the second half of the verse they're quoting that they go fast to get past before you even look. Because it cancels out what they're saying. Just look at the context of anything they're saying in its context in the light of all scriptures, but especially in its context, you'll find that they're lying to themselves. God gives them over to believe a lie because they receive not the love of the truth. They know. Don't tell me they won't be judged. We can't be like them. When God says, be ye angry and sin not, it's not a question mark. That means you can never be angry. There's such a thing as righteous indignation, beginning in the home, and it's Christ-like. Be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath. Don't allow other people's failures to eventually cause you to fail more than them in God's eyes and man's eyes. The discretion of a man deferreth his anger, and it is his glory to pass over a transgression. The discretion, that's something. Once it's seen in you, discretion, you've got something. Just read the Old Testament to see what worth discretion is. God gives man discretion. The discretion of a man deferreth his anger, and it is his glory to pass over a transgression. Proverbs 19, verse 11. It's his glory to pass. Love covereth a multitude of sins. Love is not easily provoked. Do you know the word there's agape? It's not human love. God isn't asking you to do it in a human capacity. He's asking you to yield. And to the degree that you yield to God and are absolutely surrendered, to that degree you're filled with the Holy Spirit. Because being filled with the Holy Spirit means nothing more and nothing less than being controlled by the Holy Spirit. And He cannot control any life unless they're totally, absolutely surrendered. And at that point, the fruit, the evidence that the Holy Spirit is in control of a life is the fruit of the Spirit. Love suffereth long and is kind. You can't do it in a human capacity. It has to be to the degree you are yielded to God. Absolutely surrendered to God. You are filled with the Holy Spirit, sir, not by gifts. 1 Corinthians 13, cut out. Throw away, trample upon, but don't tell me it's gifts. You are filled with the Holy Spirit to the degree that the fruit of the Spirit is the vital evidence. And then you can think about gifts. Paul says, I show you a more excellent way. Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels and have not love, the fruit of the Spirit, I becomes the sounding block. Do I have the gift of prophecy and understand all knowledge,